I am the Lonely Necron, and welcome to my basement. So I've spent a fair amount of time, and since I got back into the hobby in Jesus, was that 2018? August of 2018, I got back into it. So I've spent a fair amount of time looking up the fan animations because they're pretty much all just amazing to watch. But as a pro Necron player, I don't find any animations out there that are Necrons winning. It's always Imperium. And I'm not dogging anybody for that because it's popular and maybe the pro Necron players don't are like me and just don't have the access or the ability to make pro Necron animation. I can make semi I hate to use the word semi pro Necron, but I guess I'm gonna have to. Semi pro Necron battle reports by throwing my Crons into kind of bigger battles with the understanding that they should be able to make it through and hope that they will. So that's what we're going to do today. I got a couple groups of Necrons and a couple groups of non-Necrons and a couple of 2 foot by 2 foot areas for them to fight it out in, and hopefully I can advance the pro Necron. Man, I hate to use propaganda. There's got to be a better word for that. The pro Necron agenda. That's what we're looking for. I have a series where I put, a big Titanic model or big HQs through a 4 foot walking space, and they get shot at by heavy supports, and sometimes they die, and sometimes they don't. Most of the time they don't. And I call it my gauntlet series. And I've been trying to figure out a way to do a melee gauntlet. So I have an idea, and a bunch of these guys are going to go through it. And depending upon how that works, I may end up filming one of those. I ain't gonna lie, I've been having trouble with that for 5 or 8 months now. Every concept I come up with just doesn't work. I have hopes though. So the first grouping of the Fight Happy experience today will be this grouping of Night Lords. The leader has a chainsword and a plasma pistol. There's 2 bolt guns, a heavy bolter, a plasma gun, and the rest have both pistol chainswords. And they'll be going up against these canoptic wraiths with vicious claws and particle casters. For the second bout, we'll have 3 skorpekh destroyers, and they'll be going up against this demon prince of Slaanesh. He's got the sword, and he knows cacophonic choir. All right, take a look at where they're going to fight, and then we'll do some setting up, and some happy times will occur. All right, well, we have that area is, well, one of the 2 will end up here. Let me have a mechanicum kind of deal over here. All right. I'm going to figure out who's going to go where, who's going to go first. And hopefully the Necrons are going to beat the crap out of Chaos. All right, so the Night Lords and the Slaaneshi Prince won the roll-off. The Night Lords have chosen this particular map, and they decided to start off in the lower left-hand corner there, so the canoptic wraiths took the other side. All right, well, I have all kinds of faith that the wraiths are going to beat the snot if Chaos Space Marines have snot. I mean, they're not Nurgle, but either way, they're going to beat the snot out of these guys. So here's to hoping. But we're going to start off with the Night Lords. So movement. All right. Well, these guys decided to move up this left side here. but either they weren't thinking or I wasn't thinking. But they've moved in such a way that nobody can actually see the wraiths because the structure and the ladder are in the way. They can't do anything else, so they're done. Which will make it the Necron turn. So the wraiths have moved up. They're full 12 inches. They are definitely in shooting range and are gonna shoot at these guys with their particle casters. So these guys shooting with their particle casters, so there's 3 of them, pistol 2, so 6 shots. These are gonna hit on 4s. Well, you know, 4 of those is fine. So strength 6, toughness 4. These guys need a 3 to wound. Oh, that's a whole bunch of wounds there. So 3 wounds at a -2. Alright, that means the Space Marines need 5s or better to not take damage here. Okay, so 2 of them did save, so one of them takes 1 point of damage. Alright, that was a semi-successful shooting experience. I mean, 1 damage is 1 damage. The wraiths are indeed going to try and charge. They need 7 inches to get within 1. So, rolling and hoping to get a 7 or better. That is definitely a 7 or better. Alright, well, they definitely made it in. So, now we're going to do Overwatch for all of the dudes. So, the bolt guns. Looking for 6s. Got a couple of those. So, 2 of those actually hit. They're going to wound on a 5, though, so one of those goes through. That's a 3-up save, which it fails. Okay, there's 1 damage to a Necron there. Then we have the heavy bolter. One of those hits. This will wound on a 4 because strength 5, toughness 5. That also wounds. Alright, no save on that, so 3 up. Yay, managed to save against one of those. Let's see, then we have the plasma gun. Hit 6, nothing there. The actual bolt pistols from the regular guys. None of those actually hit. And then we have the plasma pistol, which also did not hit. Alright. Alright, they made it in. Everybody's all happily arranged. And now we're going to do some combat. Starting with the Canoptic Wraiths, because they charged. So these guys are hitting on 4s. That's not a lot of 4s. Jeez. That's just terrible. Alright, well, they've got a strength 6 against a toughness 4, so they're wounding on 3s. Jesus. Are you guys cold? Is that what it is? Alright, 1 wound. -2. 5 up. Oh, of course they saved against it. Alright. Alright, well, after kind of a poor showing on the race part, now the Chaos Space Marines get to hit back. Alright, so a whole lot of chain swords. These are all hitting on 3s. Man, that's a much better roll than what the Necrons had. Yeah, that's crazy. Alright, well, the downside is, though, that these guys are wounding on 5s. I guess that's not much of a downside. I think that one might have been a 5. I guess we'll put it back in because I don't remember. So that's 7 and a -1, so 7 4-ups. I mean, that's kind of redeemable. They only take 3 damage there, so 1 wraith does actually die. Maybe. I mean, reanimation. No. Oh yeah, reanimation gets done at the beginning of the... I'll have to look it up. I don't actually remember now. It's been so long since I played a Necron game. So my instincts were actually correct. That was my reanimation roll. They did fail it. Of course. Yeah. So we are down 1 wraith, and another wraith has been damaged. And that is the end of the Necron turn. That'll make it Chaos's turn, and they're just going to stay where they are and just consolidate a little bit. And the pistol guys might shoot. So all the guys with pistols are going to shoot at the Canoptic Wraiths. So all 5 guys with the bolt pistols hitting on 3s, so 3 of those hit. These are wounding on 5s. 1 of those goes through, so 3 up save for a Wraith. Yay, it actually made the save. I'm so happy. And then the plasma pistol, which will supercharge, which hits. Oh, it absolutely does not wound. Excellent, cool. These guys are already in combat, so there's really no need to charge, so we're just going to do a really long fight phase instead. Alright, so I got 5 regular guys, plus the leader guy with Astartes chainswords, hitting on 3s. Jeez, was that a better roll than last time? Oh no, there's a lot of 1s in there. There's a lot of 1s in there. Alright, well, that's a decent amount of hits. Oh, you little bastards. Alright, so we're looking for 5s to wound. 3, 4, 5. 5 wounds at a -1. The ubiquitous sound of dice bouncing off the concrete. 5 4-ups. That is unfortunately 2 damage will kill another wraith. So it almost reanimated. Almost. Alright, well, that means that it's time for the last remaining wraith to make his attacks. So we're looking for 4s here. I need a lot of these, homie, a lot. That's not a lot. That's 2. Alright, so 3s to wound. I mean, 1 out of 2 ain't bad, I guess. That's kind of what happened last time, so 5 up. Yay! A Space Marine dies. Woot! Alright, things are not looking good for this single last race. Yeah, I think he's just gonna have to fall back. Alright, the Wraith is falling back a good distance, but he can still shoot at these guys, so he's definitely gonna do that. Alright, Particle Caster, hitting on 4s. Sweet, both of those hit. Alright, so we're looking for 3s to wound. Yeah, well, 1 of those, you know. 1's better than none, right? Alright, so we're looking for a 3-up save for these guys, which of course they got. He is not gonna charge. His turn is done. So that'll put it up to the Night Lords for movement. Alright, so the Night Lords have just moved up as far as they can go, and they're gonna just launch everything they have gun-wise at this race. And then whatever's left, they're gonna charge in and try and stab to death with their pointy little sharp swords. I'm not bitter. Alright, so chaos shooting. We'll start with the bolt pistols. These are hitting on 3s. I mean, that's pretty terrible. we got one hit. These guys need a 5 to wound. That is not a 5. Alright. So then we have the heavy bolter. These guys moved, so they need a 4 to hit. Hey, you know, 2 of those do go through, so they need a 4 to wound. Both of those are wounds. That's a bonus. Alright, so 2 3-ups. Made both the save. Yay, the wraiths. Okay, so then the plasma gun, which also moved, so hitting on 4s. One of those actually does hit. Didn't supercharge. I probably should have said that, but either way, so it's 3 to wound. Ah, and a wound. So we'll do the 4-up invulnerable save and fail it. Take a point of damage for that. Oh, the plasma pistol. We'll supercharge it. Why not? It does hit. This needs a 3 to wound. That's not a 3 to wound. Oh, and then the bolt gun needs 3s. Okay. And then a 5 to wound. That's not a wound. Okay. Well, the wraith did manage to survive the shooting phase. He only took 1 point of damage overall, so I'll consider that a success. Alright, well, these Chaos Space Marines, they're going to charge. They need a 3 to make it in. Still going to roll, because you could always roll Snake Eyes. I sure did not this time. Oh yeah, they definitely made their charge. Overwatch for the Canoptic Wraith. Looking for 6s. No 6s. Okay. Alright, well, I'm gonna move these guys into place. Five guys with chainswords, plus the champion with the chainsword. These are all hitting on 3s. Oh. That's a whole lot of hits. Thankfully, these are only wounding on 5s. I only see 3 of those this time. It's a lot of dice to roll. It's just craziness. Alright, so we're looking for 3 4-ups. Meet 'em all! Ah! That's exactly what you needed to do, Wraith. You needed to actually start saving. You might... I don't want to put too much on you here, Wraith, but maybe you could, I don't know, come back and win this. That'd be cool. Alright, so I guess we'll go ahead and roll for the Wraith to do his return. 4 attacks, hitting on 4s. I mean, that's been pretty consistent, you know, hitting with 2. Yeah. Winning on a 3. That's also been pretty consistent. So a 5-up, which of course it makes. Alright, well, that will make it the Necron's turn. Alright, so the Wraith has fallen back yet again to get further away from these guys. He's going to go ahead and shoot his particle caster at these guys because he'd kind of like them to die. So we're looking for 4s. One of those hits. Looking for 3s to wound. Can't even do that? Alright, I'm not gonna have him charge in. I kinda like the fall back, repel the charge, fall back, repel the charge kind of thing. Kinda hoping that maybe it'll do something cool. Maybe it'll work out. I don't know. But that is gonna make it the Night Lord's turn. Okay, so the Night Lords are definitely chasing this guy down. They don't really want him to survive or live or do anything awesome like that. So they've gotten really, really close to him. They're definitely going to make their charge when it happens, but first, they're going to shoot this guy. So we'll start off with the champion and his plasma pistol. We'll supercharge it this time because why not? Hey, he actually even hit too. Awesome sauce. Alright, well, he'll wound on a 3. Yay, he even wounded. Well, that means the wraith is going to have to do his invulnerable save, so that's a 4-up, which of course he fails. Pretty sure that actually kills him since he only has 2 wounds left. So that's... I gotta double check that really fast, but I'm pretty sure that's correct. Yeah, it is pretty unfortunate, but that will in fact kill the wraith. That means, unfortunately, that the Necrons lost this first bout. I did not expect that to happen, so hopefully the skorpekhs can pull something out and make it better. I'm hoping the skorpekhs put out a better showing, much like how I hope that Mortarion, when he goes through the gauntlet, puts on a better showing than Magnus did. I really hope the skorpekhs can beat the crap out of this Demon Prince, because now I feel like they kind of have to. Like, it's a necessity. So, okay, well, I'm going to do a few minor things, and then we're going to play this other game. Alright, so I realized that those guys not winning that was probably not the best way to start out a pro Necron propaganda video, but pretty sure the skorpekhs will do a much better job this time. So the Demon Prince got to go first this time, so he chose to take this corner over here, which puts the skorpekhs in this corner. Alright, well, we're going to start this off with the Demon Prince and movement. Alright, well, this guy just flew into the middle of the ruined building. You can't actually see the skorpekhs, so his turn is done. That'll make it the Skorpekh Destroyer's turn for their movement. So these guys have moved up really, really close to the Demon Prince. They're an inch and a half away. No guns on anybody over here. So they're going to go ahead and charge in. Since they're as close as they are, they cannot fail their charge. So I'll go ahead and move them in position. Alright, well, these guys definitely made their charge, so they're all gonna go after the Demon Prince. So the 2 of them with the Threshers, we'll deal with them first since there's 2 of those guys. So between the 2 of them, they get 8 attacks, hitting on 3s. Hit rolls of 1 get re-rolled because they're destroyers. Still a 1, but that's okay. But that's every other one. That's nice. Alright, so I need 5s to wound against this Demon Prince. That's ridiculously unfortunate. Alright, well, there's still 1 more Skorpekh. So he's also hitting on 3s. Rerolling hit rolls. What is it with rerolling 1s with 1s? That's unnecessary. Alright, so +2 to his strength for that. So he needs a 4 to win this guy. Hey, a 4. Sweet. Unfortunately, his AP means nothing because Demon Princes have invulnerable saves. Sadly, it's only a 5-up. That, of course, they made. Ugh. Alright, well, that means that the Demon Prince gets to attack back. Boy, he's got a lot of attacks. Alright, so 6 attacks, hitting on 2s. Of course, all 6 of those hit. Pretty sure that he's strength 5. No, he's strength 7. His sword makes him a +1, so he's strength 8. Alright, so 3s to wound on these guys. That's 4 wounds these guys gotta save against. Alright, well, I mean, a rough day for this one. Alright, so I need 4 6-ups. Alright, so the superbly unfortunate truth here is that sword does 3 damage. And each one of those guys only has 3 health. So all 3 of them die in like one big like overhand kind of swipe kind of deal. That's how I imagine it in my head. Like, he doesn't behead all of them, but he definitely cuts all of them in half. Because the entire unit dies, they can't reanimate, which really sucks. Yeah, so let me just gently remove these guys. So originally the video was going to be, yeah, like I said at the beginning, pro-Necron propaganda and superiority. And that did not seem to work out this time, so... Like, I actually have a playlist called Are My Necrons Overpowered, but maybe that's just because there's more of them with better specific skill sets. I really had high hopes that at the very least, the wraiths would rip apart the Night Lords, like, against the Space Marines. I wasn't entirely sure that the skorpekhs would do well against this guy, if at all. But I figured that the wraiths would at least do their job. So, alright, well, I mean, this was fun. It's nice to do little small setups like this and then think about other ways that I can use them. Obviously not putting Necrons against Demon Princes. But fun can be had, and this was fun. Gives me time to think about maybe the infantry gauntlet thing I got set up over there. Maybe I'll figure that out. I don't know. If you made it to the end of the video, especially with all of my weird ramblings, I do appreciate it. I am superbly regretful of the Necrons kind of... I don't feel like they let me down, but, you know, it's the dice. It's always the dice. And I guess if the skorpekhs actually had an invuln save, but I don't know. Either way, stay safe, be blessed, have a wonderful day. Thanks again.